Gee, it's been a fun ODI series. It all goes down to the decider, the third and final game between England and Australia at Manchester. We're going to build our fantasy team for the same on my 11 Circle Fantasy Pick on ESPN Cricinfo. I guess all you can ask for, Andrew, is a three-match series goes down to a deciding one, and that's what it's going to be. Now, thoughts ahead of this one? I see, even as I glance through our fantasy team, which we'll announce in just a bit, that suddenly we seem to be backing a lot of bowlers to do well.
Aren't we just? Yeah, these pitches have really lived up to Owen Morgan's pre-series hope that England, having played on belters all the way up to the start of the World Cup, they've changed their tune and they've gone for bowlers pitches to really give them practice ahead of what promises to be a tricky defence in India in 4 years' time. So, yeah, it's been exactly what England wanted, a real challenge against a top-quality bowling attack. And, they're brawling. It's been fascinating. I've enjoyed every minute.
All right, let's move ahead to the team. Before that, quick reminder, on the My 11 Circle Fantasy app, 100 credits for every user to build their fantasy team. 4 categories of players to choose from: batsmen, bowlers, wicket keepers and all-rounders. You can pick a maximum of 7 players from one team in any contest. Every player's individual credit value is listed on the app, and we'll also help you pick 4 substitutes in addition to the 11. Let's move to our top picks. Our choice for captain. It's not often we go for bowlers. It's even rarer that we go for spin bowlers in ODI cricket, but Adam Zampa commands that position in our team. He's managed a 4-4 followed by a 3-4. And he seems to be Australia's number one strike option with the ball. Therefore, our captain choice. Vice captain is going to be Jofra Archer. He's been pretty good himself. A couple of 3-wicket hauls back-to-back. And a player of the match performance in the second ODI. He seems to have David Warner's number. And it looks like we're backing both strike bowlers from both teams to be captain and vice captain. Captain gives you double the points and vice captain 1.5 times the points, so pick them carefully. We're still going to pick David Warner in our top picks. Now, you were a little surprised that he's managed a couple of low scores, but we know what he's capable of, and we're backing the law of averages to come good in a series decider for David Warner. Glenn Maxwell and Johnny Bairstow also feature in our top picks. We saw Maxwell's aggressive 77 in the first ODI. Again, reminds us of why he's such a talented white ball cricketer, and quite handy with the ball as well in fantasy. Johnny Bairstow's there as well, an 84 in the first ODI, showed us that Bairstow's in pretty good touch and can manage even if conditions are slightly challenging for batting. He just ignored that duck in the second ODI. We're still backing someone like Johnny Bairstow, and if you especially have to pick just one England opener, our suggestion is you go for Bairstow over a Jason Roy. I wonder what Andrew Miller makes of that. As we look back at our top picks, Adam Zampa captain, Jofra Archer vice captain, Warner, Maxwell and Bairstow among our top picks. Not usual that we go for bowlers and invest so heavily in bowlers, but what do you make of our top picks, Andrew?
A bold choice is captain, I have to say. I mean, you can't fault the fact that Zampa's got wickets, but I still would maintain he's been the second best leg spinner on show. I think Adil Rashid has been magnificent. He's been unlucky, but I think Zampa actually has really benefited from the fact he's come in to the attack after Josh Hazlewood in particular has been such an incredible economic presence with the new ball. England have had to take risks against Zampa and have holed out more often than not. So Hazlewood is the unlucky man in all of this. I think he's been the bowler of the series so far, and he's probably due some wickets, I would imagine.
All right, I think we'll find a room for Josh Hazlewood regardless, but let's see what you make of Andrew's thoughts on captain, vice captain. Perhaps a leg spinner would be a risky choice as captain, but see how you want to play this ahead of the final game. In our value picks, Marnus Labuschagne and Sam Billings, they're considered to be very valuable players for their team, and they'll get into your fantasy team for a decent credit value as well. Labuschagne, of course, bats at 4 for Australia. He's managed to find a role as an anchor in that one-day international side for Australia. He's got an average of 34.5 series. It's been pretty hard for batting on occasion, so you wouldn't mind something like that for Labuschagne. Sam Billings is there, the only Centurion in this series so far. Will that change in the third ODI? We'll find out, but someone who is in good touch and therefore a value pick in your team. Marnus Labuschagne and Sam Billings. As we look at our full team, Johnny Bairstow, Sam Billings and Josh Butler will be available in the keeper categories. We have Marnus Labuschagne and David Warner as batters, Glenn Maxwell and Chris Wokes. And we've gone for Josh Hazlewood, Jofra Archer, Mark Wood and Adam Zampa. And Zampa, of course, is our captain recommendation and Archer our vice captain. But you heard Andrew's thoughts on that. Our substitutes include Steve Smith, Jason Roy, Owen Morgan and Aaron Finch. Andrew, what do you make of that? Any swaps or any changes that you'd suggest?
I'm intrigued by Smith as a reserve. I mean, admittedly, he's had concussion in the last 2 games, but the insight does seem to be that they may well play him, and I'd be astonished if he gets back into the team and doesn't make a big impact. It's rare that Smith comes to these shores and doesn't turn up the goods at some stage. So I might consider putting him in, and Mark Wood. I'm a little bit worried by his ankle. I'm always worried by his ankle. I wonder whether England will just decide not to risk him at this late stage of the series.
All right, we'll wait for those final teams and playing 11s before confirming your team. Andrew Miller, thank you very much for your thoughts through the course of this ODI series. Plenty more from you as more cricket comes our way in the next few months. And again, a reminder that look at the final teams, some injury news about, and only then confirm your fantasy team on my 11 Circle Fantasy Pick on ESPN Cricinfo.